I like the sea.
Yeah.
Wherever I'm living in Byron, I've lived in over 40 different places in that 10 years. This is where I truly live. I come down here every day. I'm here, not necessarily on the beach, but up at the surf club there. I'm here every single day. I swim across the bay or around from Goes. That's where I live, and that remains pretty constant. So that's, that's what I love about it. There are so many open-hearted people. I know more people in this town than I've known at any other time in my life, and I have more people who sort of come up to me and shake my hand and say, I've seen you picking up stuff on the beach, or I've seen you out dancing, or whatever. Just people coming up, and that's really nice.
I'm a traveller usually. I decided to stay in the area. I like the climate. The climate is just beautiful. Yeah, the climate is just luxury. Climate. It's beautiful nature, the colors around the place. Sensational.
There should actually be a law here in Byron Bay that if you're not walking around the streets with a supercilious smile on your face, that you should be put on the first train out of here.
Yeah, over here, mate. How are you? What's going on? Here we go. Byron Bay bus shelter. There's a chap over there playing Waltzing Matilda, which fucking surprises me. I'm just about to crack a fucking Cooper's Red on the program. I'm going home. I'm going to mull up. Fucking best bush budge you've ever fucking smoked in your fucking life.
What can I say? There's wine down the mines.
I saw the flea market,
Yeah.
and there was many hippies out there.
It cleanses you, it revitalises you, it nourishes you. It's just beautiful. It really is.
Qu'est-ce que tu veux que je dise? Je suis folle de toi, ma chérie. Mais oui, ma chérie. Je suis folle de toi, ma chérie. No, I
but it's hell. We're under attack, air, land and sea.
These days we've got a big highway flowing into the place.
For 3 decades now, I've been studying the impact of so-called progress on communities around the world and working with different community groups. And what we see is a pattern, and that is that what is called progress and growth is threatening the lives of the majority of people on the planet.
There's going to be nothing left.
It's changed tremendously in the 10.5 years that it's moved up market. It's not the quaint, quiet little sleepy village that it was when I first discovered it.
It always just seems to be that, you know, Byron's the focus of a lot of attention, focus of a lot of money.
There's too much emphasis on making money and not making real friendship.
I would like to be living on the street, and I feel for the guys, a lot of street people here, you know.
The gap between rich and poor is widening exponentially, and this is true everywhere. And what you'll find is a pattern that particularly those smaller communities that are quite beautiful are threatened by tourism and by second home owners who come in and build nice palatial houses but who aren't even part of the local community. The rents are escalating and local people are having to move out. So it's a disaster for communities, and we really need to wake up to this issue.
Well, yeah, Byron has changed a lot since I first came up here, and one, I guess, tends to look at Byron as being better in the past than it is now. The council's gotten very greedy. They're charging to park at all the different car parks at Watergoes and the pass and etc. And yeah, I guess, but that's the way of the world. It's getting greedier and everything's becoming commercialised and sellable and attainable. Tell me something, if there was something about Byron Bay that you'd change, what would it be?
The fact that they're trying to kick everyone out.
There are people here homeless because they don't want to move into 8 in the house or haven't got a reference.
We need something for the youth, that's for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, need something where the kids can just go out and do something, you know, because all they end up doing is just in town and causing shit. And
you know, water bomb touros, you know.
I have to discuss is the skate park in Byron Bay.
Yeah, they need to
We've been asking for about 12 years now, and it's just not happening.
The place has gotten quite dirty, which is a shame. It's being quite built out, which is a shame as well.
Half of the people who are living here now move here and can no longer afford to live here.
So many people you'd never see again in this place.
It will be when we completely kill our culture here, when we've got rid of the last artist and the last writer. The job will be probably completely done. We'll have wonderful places, thousands of places for people to stay, and everyone will have moved on and decided to go to somewhere where the people are more interesting.
You don't see the things that were quirky and you know, peculiar to Byron Bay. It's become more antisepticised.
All the unique and diverse people who were drawn to Byron, because this is a very special place. In the whole world, this is a special place. And so many fantastic people have been drawn here. And guess what? They're having to move out. They can't live here. Either they can't afford to live here, or they don't want to live here, because it's getting overdeveloped and destroyed.
Keeping truth and free press alive in this modern day. I think there's probably 180 people involved in this place, and they're all volunteers. We don't have any editorial policy as such. We don't have any programmers as such, but people choose their own material. It's fantastic. Where else do you find that? We'll be advertising Coca-Cola and Red Bull. they offer us things. We want to just stay independent of all that, you know. But it's a fantastic place for expression, an expression of your joy in being part of a body that is our community and the voice of the community, and watching this community evolve and being part of that evolution and revolution.
So you've got low Q.
Do you have diversity?
Good afternoon, welcome to BayFM. This is Rebecca Smith.
This is an hour of the Cultural Awareness Show here on BayFM 99.9. It's 12:05.
Chris Wilson there with some help from Vicar and Linda Bull. Don't look down.
And you are tuned to Crazy Bits. This is BayFM 99.9.
Influx of music. It's at 24.3 degrees outside. Now I'm going to start you off with a track here. It's called Scoop Cool Bellup Roo.
Community, you know, it is the voice of the community. It is the community, really, and it's the best asset that the community's got, BayFM.
Many people from this community are involved. I'm sure there's over 200 people.
It's an integral part of Byron.
Well, the shack, the Love Shack we call it.
Definitely aptly named the Love Shack. Definitely aptly named it.
The Love Shack.
It was built probably in about 1990, over at the back of the old community centre. And then it was moved over here probably 3.5 years ago.
Yeah, we built this with our bare hands out of donations.
I actually saw them building it, and there were guys there on wheelchairs cutting the wood, and everybody was helping out.
This is an area where there's so much versatility and so much creativity and so much healing opportunity. So there's, you know, such a broad spectrum of things that we can do.
People come from all different backgrounds and people come from different lifestyles, and when we all get in here and get together and, you know, just do what we love to do, which is put on good radio shows.
It's a melting pot of Byron Bay. That's how I feel, and it always has been ever since I was little, because I grew up here as well, and I've sort of gone away and come back, and I thought, oh, this is so much fun, and yeah, it's a pretty priceless place.
It's an incredible place. It has some amazing energy, and at times we all get far too close to one another.
That's what my husband says, your other family on the phone.
The community feeling, the way we work together so well.
This is nice, yeah, it's really good, the Love Shack. I've had a lot of fun here.
With BayFM you can turn the radio on and suddenly you're hearing something that you didn't know about the environment, about politics, about health, about music, about whatever.
There's spirituality, there are gurus coming through this town, there's personal growth, there are people who come here for a sea change, there are developers here, there are people who hate developers here.
Byron is a beauty spot, yeah, on a woman's cheek.
It's just fantastic the way that the community pulls together.
There is something really special, and I guess that the radio station is an opportunity to actually share that.
We obviously provide a fantastic function for the community in so many ways.
Also, there's a lot of passionate people here. They're rather obsessed, and I like being around people who are like that.
All kinds of people, everybody. Michael Franti, the president of the NRMA, Bob Brown, David Suzuki, Peter Garrett, all kinds of people have come through here.
It's a rather small organisation with an enormous heart and some absolutely enormous personalities.
All right. Property manager. I'm actually in Byron Bay just because of BayFM. I moved down here from Brisbane and came here to work for BayFM.
We're very highly decorated.
Awards and things?
Awards, yeah. We're probably the most awarded station in the nation.
People in Sydney tell me we're the best radio station in the country.
This team is considered top quality worldwide, I would say.
There's no other radio station in Australia like BayFM.
We get no money from the government, all sponsored by the community.
And the presenters here, we're not governed by any playlists, we don't have to play particular music, we don't have to edit our content, we're not told by a program director, so to speak, or by somebody else.
We get to cover everything, all the really fun stuff, all the really bad stuff, and all the bits in between.
BayFM reaches out to the world.
It all started in 1987. BayFM was conceived and established at a public meeting in the Byron Bay Community Centre. The years between 1988 to 1989 were to do with fundraising, raising awareness, writing a constitution and incorporation of the station. Early broadcasts were from the back of a caravan located in Railway Park. It wasn't until 1990 when BayFM did its first transmission testing from 6 different locations over a 7-day period. From 1991, regular test transmissions started from the Lighthouse. The building of the Love Shack, home to BayFM for the majority of its years, was commenced. In 1993, the Australian Broadcasting Authority grants BayFM the first and only Australian drop-through licence, allowing the station to broadcast 24/7. Between 1994 and 1997, due to popular demand and a lot of letter writing from listeners, BayFM's licence was renewed with regularity. Its position on the dial began as 97.7, moved to 96.1, then to 91.3, and finally settled in its current and permanent home, 99.9. In 1998, BayFM had won more than a couple of CBAA awards and also changed over from an existing 500-watt transmission to an impressively potent 2,000-watt tower. In 2001, the East Coast Blues and Roots Festival is broadcast by BayFM to CBAA satellite for national transmission by BayFM. 2001 was also the first time that any station ever received 3 CBAA awards, another BayFM honour. 2002 saw the relocation to the Love Shack in Butler Street, reinforcing the free-spirited, nomadic quality of the station. Popularity continued to grow with close to 1,000 subscribers, a couple more awards and a refreshing of internal structuring. 2003 was another great year for the station, with 120 active volunteers, 205 current members and over 1,000 subscribers. June 2006, after 4 years in the making, BayFM finally moves to its exciting new state-of-the-art studios in the heart of Byron Bay.
This has been here 10 years now. We're going across the new studio. That's an effort of the whole community. The community's put that together. It's the community's radio station. Everything's volunteers.
It's an incredible place. It has some amazing energy.
New energy, new place, something different.
I think it will also raise our spirits as presenters.
It will be really interesting to see how we morph ourselves into the new Fletcher Street studios.
More professional, I think that we'll have a higher community profile because of our location and because we've upped the ante now.
Wow, what skills has actually gone into that building? It's amazing. I mean, from the wood, from the carpenters to electricians and soundproofing rooms and designers, and it's unbelievable.
Unreal, man. It's going to be excellent. Awesome sound.
it's fantastic seeing in the studio. Like I don't know, it's going to sound like people just listening on their radio in the studio, like a pump.
I think it's going to be a wonderful thing. Yeah, I think it's going to be fancy and fancy pants.
We're growing. Yep, moving on, moving forward.
We're kind of going back home, moving to the community centre, because this building was in the backyard, and then we physically moved it here.
Now that it's going to be moved to the community centre, it's just more scope for the radio station to expand and become more multimedia, sort of in the 21st century, as you like, as opposed to being in a demandable and only having such a limited space, whereas over there I think you could really create something wonderful.
Yeah, I was there for about 10 minutes the other day, and I like the new desk, and the whole atmosphere seems, you know, you can't take it away from here. This is part of BayFM.
Yeah.
And over there it's just completely, what's this, what's that? But it's a wonderful studio.
It'll be exciting, and big library, so that'll be good.
We love the shack, and the love shack's the love shack. It is quite a small space, so being able to move over there and spread out is going to be amazing.
I'm excited. It's been a long time coming, and even before there was talk about moving, I was like going, oh, this place is too small, and I get claustrophobic sometimes just because it was cramped and there's people trying to do 100 things.
The history about it, what we've been through marriages, divorces, haven't we, Pete? We've had 3 divorces.
Used about 3 cars.
Yeah, I've done through about 6 set of tyres.
Sure, it's taken a long time, and we've been hanging out to know when we're actually going to move into this behemoth. But after seeing it last night and going through the training sessions, I say, A1, thank you a million for your time and effort in putting that together. You're going to blow some minds, blow some minds, blow some minds, blow some minds, some minds, some minds, some minds, some minds.
Captain, we're receiving reports from all decks of equipment malfunctions and strange behaviour on board.
We're hit, Captain. We've lost hull control. Leak transmission and the poly drive is damaged. We may not make it.
This is the large shack. We have encountered pockets of negativity. The love shack is damaged and we require immediate assistance.
This is the Quantum Leap. We copy that. Prepare all crew for emergency transport. We're going to beam you all on board. Transporter room. You have a lock on the Love Shack crew.
Aye, Captain.
Excellent. Beam the entire crew to loading base. Attention, all crew. We are now proceeding to the Quantum Leap Hyper Jump Launch Zone.
What do you think, Mike?
Okay, crew.
Oh, this is it. Where's
Proceed with systems check. All crew report.
Selector and KB?
Boosters are online and it's full absorption rate, and poly drive is fully charged and ready.
Where's the selector and KB?
They're crying all the way over here. They're on their way over.
Where is he?
They're walking.
Selector, please increase the positive vibrations to the Quantum Leap hyperdrive and patch through to cabin speakers.
Aye, Captain.
Hey, aren't you supposed to be somewhere?
Someone really painful experiences.
Hang out, dude.
More harmonious,
More friendly, more peaceful. More better work.
Ah, here he is.
More friendly, more peaceful. Good heart.
Ah, gentlemen.
More heart. A passionate heart. A member of one human family. One human family. You got it. You got it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 human family.
Peace, peace, peace. May this world and every living thing in it have peace from love, unity in community. My name is Sean Latham, and it is my great honour to announce that BayFM Community Radio for the Byron Shire and beyond has now landed in the new studios in the heart of our community. Our first song is for everyone who believes in a better way.
Without a script.
On your mind.
Oh, okay. They going first? They're going to go first.
You guys.
You reckon? I thought you'd be better. They better if you do it with me.
No, it's okay. I'm okay. I need you time. Yeah. It's not reading the track. And...
I don't want that one anymore.
I was out at the Channon Market. It was actually a moment of epiphany, and there was a woman there organising a march against a rare earth plant at Tuncester, which I thought was pretty obscure. And then I thought, well gee, how could you rally everyone, all the environmental groups, if you wanted to? And my mind went, bing, a radio station. So I came home from the Channon all gung-ho, saying to my upstairs neighbour, I'm going to start a radio station. And she said, one started last Thursday. So I made it really easy because I didn't have to go through all of that. It was already on the go in a way. So on the Monday I tracked down the guy who'd started it, Bob Commodore, and called him up and ended up at their very first meeting on the 15th of December 1987 at a place called Il Duomo, which is now Dish Raw Bar. It's been through a few incarnations since then, and became interim secretary, and that's how I got involved. I did the broadcasting course, and I didn't actually think that I was going to have a show then, but I wanted to be involved in the organisation because I think community groups are the bottom line of democracy. Go Earth Care!
I started with BayFM when I saw an ad in the paper. I think it may have been the Byron News, and I went to the first meetings out the epicentre of the first ones I can remember, prior to BayFM starting, and the single reason I do it is purely for the music.
I was travelling Australia last year for about 9 months, and I was up here for 5. And I came in with Stewie and his shows and talked a bit, played some Danish music. When I went back over here, just got into it again and submission period was coming up.
And we did a demo for an hour from 12 till 1 in the morning, and then handed that into the programming team. Applied for a show, which was like a written application as well, and then handed our CD. And our first show's tonight in in the studio, so I can't wait. Yeah, it should be fantastic.
Yes, I've been one of the foundation members of it. I think there was 5 of us took the plunge and decided to pursue the thought of a community radio station in Byron Bay, because we knew that the place was well known and yet it didn't have a radio station.
I'd had not been well, and about a year after that I decided that I really felt like I wanted to get my teeth into something, and I saw this advertisement to do a radio broadcasting course through ACE, and I thought, wow, yeah, that sounds like me. I've always liked talking to people and that sort of stuff. And I found it all a bit daunting, and next minute I put a submission in and I ended up with a Guernsey on the Women Talk program.
I actually started the Rubber Dub show, and Dave came in as a guest, and they had excellent selections and stuff, so he ended up, when I had to head overseas, he was the only one that I could kind of pass the torch on to, so it was a good thing that he kept up the standard and quality.
So I took the torch and burned a path through Thursday night, through Wednesday night, ended up on Friday night.
I kind of got thrown into the deep end where somebody was not able to do the news, so I had to start learning how to edit, present, and that's how I got started.
First 10 minutes are nerve-wracking, absolutely nerve-wracking, but once you discover nothing really happens to you, like nothing blows up and your head doesn't sort of turn into I don't know what, but it works the way you had intended it to be, and then they settle in, and then they're very happy, then they get that smile.
I came to Byron, I was here several months and tuned into the car radio, listening to Nick Jeans actually, and thought, wow, this is a great show. And consequently I listened to more of BayFM, and I just fell in love with the station, and I came and volunteered. That was around 97 I started with BayFM, and I've pretty much been here ever since.
I think at some point people had to do a course before they did the show, because everyone's asked me when I did the course, but I didn't do one. And I don't know, if I somehow slipped through or not.
Pure luck. I was hanging out with, I was cooking with, Daz was cooking out in Belongil, good friend of mine. I went in and he mentored me, showed me how to do it, then we applied, and I think he put in a good word for us, and we ended up with a show. It surprised us both, so we just ran with it, and we've been doing it like, what's this, our third season? Yeah, third season, over a year now.
I think it's about 12 years now. It's a long time. I was a volley for about a year and a half, and then RG invited me to come onto his show for an hour, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I had an hour show in the beginning.
So that's how it started?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I just invited
yes,
you
we were
into
doing theatre stuff together, weren't we?
That's right. That's where we became...
you had 3 hours, didn't you?
That's
and then
right. That's right.
You said, come and do the last hour.
That's right.
That's how I started.
And then you branched off on your own with
I
jazz nets.
did, yes. So that's been going a long time.
How far back I go back to when the committee was first started, actually, with people like Nancy Jo Falcone and people like that, and we used to sit over in the epicenter and talk about organizing the station, and well, right from the beginning, you know. So I pounded a few nails into the Love Shack.
I just volunteered at BayFM to just help out with the admin sort of side of stuff, and I had the idea that maybe from some stage I'd do a radio show a little further down the track. Got to be in it to win it, and it just turned out like that.
So I came down, I paid my subs, told them how fabulous the station was, and they said, do you want to come on air and say this? And I just remember really thinking, you've got to make a decision right now, because if you don't, you're going to run away. So I went on air, said whatever I said, most probably went as puce as I'm going now, and the rest was history.
It makes you realise that you can do things that you never dreamed that you could do before. I think it does that for a lot of people. I've seen it happen to many people, that they come in here and they might be a bit timid and shy and they walk out strapping their stuff because they feel empowered. It really is an empowerment medium. Yeah.
You guys are mad.
Shazam! Do it for me, girl.
The Independence from America Day protest.
This is another rubber dub session. Crazy day when Lennox Dread on the controls.
So we rejoin our superhero as he discusses his mental state.
At the moment it's usually 4, but we couldn't fit him in the car.
Call Gary on 0408 77478. I'll repeat that, 0408 77478.
Fools. I'm the fool. I love the fool.
While it does your tax and sexually gratifies your wife. Is that possible?
Yes, Mr. Steve. Very Japanese philosophy. Some video of Japanese schoolgirls in panties doing wrestling.
I was thinking a tad more cultural.
With no panties.
Yes, we're feeling the dancehall vibes now.
Was it? There you go. We are BayFM 99.9. Giddy up, BayFM, giddy up!
So tonight's the opening of the Radiothon, as you've been told, the yearly event where we ask people to subscribe to the station. Nobody gets paid anything. We're nuts. We're crazy.
Our federal government is doing everything it possibly can to reduce diversity in our communities and to concentrate media ownership until all we end up listening to is the one hideous old stereo loop.
We are a mighty voice for Mother Earth. Viva the mighty voice of Mother Earth. Viva! Viva!
Byron Bay celebration.
What you gonna do, baby?
Sponsorship involves going and meeting people, and hopefully it's a thing that we like and they like. And they're not about jingles.
No,
Definitely not
BayFM
jingles.
sound, appropriate sound for the business, appropriate sound for BayFM.
And we also have the right to choose who we want to sponsor as well. As I say, if McDonald's came along or Pizza Hut or any of the or Woolworths even at the moment, they wouldn't take an ad from any of those because the money doesn't stay in Byron. It's going to go straight out to a corporation. I just don't want that. We want to try and make BayFM a very successful radio station in gaining profit, but in fact to give money back to the community at the end of the year. It's a not-for-profit organisation. We've been up to the Tweed and we've been up to Brisbane to see some other radio stations. It's just a money-making business, and that's fair enough. That's what their brief is to do, to make as much money. They haven't got any idea about keeping a spirit of a radio station together. All of the other radio stations in this region are all owned by other people. There's not a single independent radio station. There'll always be a sound of Byron, and the sound of Byron is independence.
All the voice artists that I use are BayFMers. They're all volunteers. After getting some kind of music piece, I usually get I jump online to our production music archives and search for something that's appropriate for that business. The next as important thing is the voice that's used. So finding someone that's got the appropriate voice, bringing them in, letting them hear the music, and just talking about the business, directing that recording, which could take however many takes, and maybe cutting phrases together, because every single second of that 30-second spot is crucial to that business.
Yeah, that's good. 1 2 check 1 2 2 2. Have you got the Super Duper SSL compression and stuff on that?
Not yet, because
I hate these. Just run it again, please, mate. The professionally written script, as we can all see here. There'll be complimentary wine and beer tasting, cooking demonstrations, a fabulous chocolate bath, excellent live music, a fashion parade and entertainment for the kids. Norco presents a Taste of Byron Carnival, a mouth-watering one, and it's too long.
Right, we need to look at
Okay.
that. That's good for that.
To the official opening of the new BayFM studios. Now, whatever you dream can come true. It can be made manifest. I think we prove that in this community all the time. I think, and I hope, I pray that we actually continue to do that in this community in all the ways that are meaningful to us. Our culture, our heritage, our environment, our society, our creativity. I'd like to welcome Yvonne Stewart.
Just to clarify something, I'm not an elder. I'm a long way off one. Just Yvonne. Jingy Walwitter, and welcome on behalf of the Arakwal Elders, Bumble and Bundjalung people of this country. Just like to welcome you all here today and thank organisers for acknowledging country and acknowledging this place that we're standing on. It was very inspired when I walked into the new area. I know that there's a few of the radio people like Terry and I can see Roz up here and always trying to drag me in there, but it's very hard talking into these things and not talking to anybody. Even though there's somebody there, so I'll never get used to that and hopefully I will get in there. Thank you all for coming. Thank you very much, BayFM. I'm always behind you. Arakwal's always behind you, and if we can ever do anything, we're here. Great community spirit. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce you with great pleasure to Barry Melville, who's come up here from Sydney and is the General Manager of the CBAA, the Community Broadcasting Association of Australia. Barry.
I can only heap praises on Sean Latham and the team for delivering, or for conceiving of and delivering such an amazing outcome as the Quantum Leap project, as it's known. The transformation of this station into what is now basically what I'd like to describe as the leading edge of broadcasting in this country. It was more than a decade that they had to wait to get an FM licence here in Byron Bay. I'm really happy to tell Nick that he's wrong. There are now more than 350 independent, diverse, not-for-profit community radio stations in Australia. We can all be really proud that BayFM is one of the leading lights in this whole national movement. So as the national body for community broadcasters, we haven't been able to ignore BayFM. We couldn't ignore BayFM even if we tried. So put it together for the rich content that this station has delivered. Here's to cultural diversity, here's to community empowerment, and here's to BayFM. Thank you.
It's a great pleasure to welcome our Mayor to say a few words to us today, the wonderful Jen Farrell.
this is for our community. And I do want to heap some praise on BayFM, but also want to take the time to acknowledge that BayFM would not exist if it wasn't for the support of the whole community. I think today is a proud day for our whole community that this is what's been achieved. As a community, this has been made possible with the hard work and dedication of all the volunteers, all the previous committee members. To me, BayFM is one of the most tangible reflections of the resilience and strength of this community.
I'd really like to thank the tenacity of Sean and the organisation to manage the last few years. It has been a daunting and at times incredibly frustrating time for the organisation, but ultimately, at the end of the day, you've seen what we've created and it's been well worth it. This is not an average, everyday example of what the community can do. This is high-end capacity.
Over all these years, Sean Latham has served BayFM in every way possible as a great leader, a great manager, and more particularly, I think, a visionary. Sean is a true visionary, and nothing that you see in that room there would be there if it wasn't for Sean Latham. I know things about Sean from a long time ago. Yes, Dad's here, Graham. And it's a good point because, you know, Sean's parents, wonderful people, have supported Sean in this process for all these years. But Sean really has sacrificed a lot. And I know that many of you know that. It brings tears to my eyes and I mean it. You know. But Sean Latham, as a visionary, exemplifies the best of Byron Bay, best of Byron Shire. Sean.
Well, what an occasion, what a time, and what a beautiful day, and so many beautiful smiling faces. Thank you, everyone. Where would we be without our friends and partners and lovers and family, without the support and backing us up in the community? We just cannot achieve all these things without the support of all these people in our lives. And you can have an idea and a dream, and you can put energy to it, and then you take that energy and you put it into action, and then you create reality. And it's the amount of energy from this community and every single soul and every idea, no matter how small it is, that has made this thing what it is today. It's just grown. And that's just an idea about where it's going to go to from here, because it's just going to keep getting bigger and stronger and so much better. Not that it's not any good right now. All those people who worked on it, it was just a matter of not accepting anything but the best. And we just paid so much attention to detail and quality and standards, and so much energy and love went into every bit of curve and every bit of wall and every bit of that studio, and it shows and you can feel it. You may not see it, but it emanates and you can feel it. And we've designed it and built it and created it as a place of inspiration, so that when you walk in there and you want to do something, you have freedom. You're not restricted by not having enough technical equipment or not having enough possibilities. The possibilities, what you want to do something, then you should have the ability to go in there and create it. Because that's what we need, freedom in our ability to create, and I'm confident that that's what we've done. Let's hope that our place of positivity here and our boundless abundance can help us address some of the issues that we face in our world, in our community. We are all one community, and we help other communities and other people in other areas, and we've got to remember that we are all one in this world. And we are there to help each other. If we really want to make a change and make a difference in this world, it is possible and we can do it. And we go forward with a positive attitude, and that goes to show what we can really achieve when you have a positive attitude and you are determined and accept nothing but the best, or see your goal and your vision and go for it and make it happen and make it real. And I think that that's something really special, and I hope that through BayFM we can and we have and we will continue to do that and help make this world, our community, a much better place.
Look at the camera though.
This studio is livicated to the future, all children and all people. Notice it was livicated, not dedicated.
We did it. All right.
Where is the future of the organisation? Where do we want it to go? And that then we look at other media as well. What's happening to community radio? Community radio is becoming community media. Netcasting, broadcasting, narrowcasting, TV, radio, podcasting. All these things are kind of meshing. The media is meshing. The community radio sector is the fastest growing media sector in Australia. And so we get together and all talk about where we're going in the future. It's really important because of the importance of community media. It needs to be given every opportunity to grow and survive, every opportunity. Because when you look at what's happening in the world of media, you have more and more of the media stations, we're talking TV and radio, commercial, owned by fewer and fewer people who are basically either designing it to make money out of it or controlling information. Pre-produced, packaged information that helps make us all good consumers or helps us stop asking questions about what's important.
Well, I think what we want to do and what we haven't been able to do for a number of years is because we've been so busy building studios and trying to get on top of it. We need to once again use that word consolidate. Because we've moved in here, we get the studios finished, we can now concentrate on training presenters and really strive for excellence in broadcasting, which is what we want to do. So that's part of that, and also a global voice on the web. And I used to think that, I really do believe that this is one for everyone now, that people want to hear what's happening in the Shire because we do things a bit differently here. So partly I think we're part of the antidote to the mass media, to the militarised world that we have